duffel bag, not aptly named poetry. And I'll be on my merry way as soon as my pride turns me loose. And untangle the last morsel of manhood I can produce, man. I seem to have misplaced my confidence. Last place I seen it was at the altar of your love. It's complicated, and I am becoming complicated. We may scratch ourselves raw to try to erase the image we were made in. Smoke, snort, sex, or drown out the silence. We may waste our life savings on makeovers to try to ride on past our daddy's nose away. But no nickel, no talk could cut away the sense of obligation. We are becoming what we're not, and what we are is inescapable. You are a masterpiece, fighting to be a silly self, the hideous filth. You are heaven's handmade calligraphy, slumming it among the papyrus spots. You are the complete and perfect works of a perfect and eternal poet laureate with a laundry list of identity issues. And sometimes your plumbing doesn't match your urges, but your femininity enforced the force field that protected our posterity. Your masculinity, it mustered up moxie to conquer mountains for our family.
What is up? What is up? 360 in the house. Can you hear me? Let's make sure that I always like to make sure the sound works. Somebody type in the chat if we're good on the sound. I hate to be doing it. Okay, what is up? Welcome back. I hope everybody had a very, very Merry Christmas. I hope everybody's going to have a Happy New Year. So good, so good. I was going to say so good to see you. But that would be a lie. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Feels good. Feels good to be back. I'm actually back in the saddle, as you can see, the original saddle, after spending some time with family over Christmas. Low key, with all the healing. Father-in-law's doing absolutely incredibly fantastic. I'm going to tell you something crazy, okay? And actually, my wife just found a study on this last night, and we actually knew a little bit about this before. It's weird, okay? Because my dad, you know, I just donated my kidney to my father-in-law. You know that. By the way, I'm doing magnificent. I'm literally only 20-something days from being able to go to the gym. Like, I'm so excited about that. I want to go tomorrow. I feel like I could go tomorrow, but I'm going to follow orders and do what I'm supposed to do. But anyway, so my father-in-law is doing insane. Every kidney marker is coming back to perfection. But here's the weird thing, and I'm not kidding, because this isn't coming from me. This is coming from other people. It's gonna sound nuts, okay? But there's a study on this. My father-in-law has picked up some of my traits from my kidney. And my wife found, yes, some of my, like, weird stuff, like optimism, like it's just a lot of different things. Some of my actual own characteristics, which is crazy. My wife found a study that talked about, because it's a living organ. So those cells are alive. It was part of me and it became part of him, but they're finding that, I know it sounds weird. My wife found a study where people have received different transplants, different things, and they ended up doing things like, I'm talking things like liking the foods that they didn't like before that the person that donated liked, physical characteristics, attributes in their character that transferred with the kidney. I know it sounds whack. He knows all the targets. So yeah, my father-in-law could get on here and just be 360 now. I mean, but anyway, my wife found an incredible study on this. But anyway, I just want to throw that out there. I think it's funny, whether it's true or not. I don't care. Only thing I care about is that he's happy and healthy and he's doing magnificent. So yes, see, there's another person right there. So like, this is a real thing. This is a real thing. It's a real thing. Dispenza. Yeah, we know Joe Dispenza. Man, it's awesome that you guys know about that. Yeah, it's whack. It's whack. Go look. Go look. I'll get that link from my wife. I'll post it on Twitter later today. You guys can read it, but there's evidence that says that that's true. So anyway, you didn't come here for that. I know you didn't. So we want to move in. I don't want to keep you here forever because it is the weekend. and you guys probably got stuff to do, get ready for the New Year's. And again, I want to wish your families more than anything, whether you're part of the elite or not, just that you know who I am and you follow me on Twitter or whatever the case might be. I want to wish you and your families a very blessed, that you're happy, healthy, safe, secure, and that you guys prosper into the new year and into 2025, which I do believe is going to be magnificent, especially in the realm of crypto, what is actually coming down the pipe for not just crypto, but legacy markets as well. As I do believe we see a vertical type movement throughout most markets, probably deep into 2025. Okay, so we're back. This is our market review. We're not going to talk about, I know you want me to talk about altcoins. That's all anybody cares about. I could give the most prolific cycle data on Twitter. It's going to get literally, if I'm lucky, 100 likes. And I can say something stupid about XRP or something, and it's going to have 2,000 likes. That's just the nature of the masses. It's how it is. It is what it is. I'm disgruntled about it, but it is what it is. That's crypto. It's just so funny. My most important stuff just gets, that's boring. Tell me about Tau. That's how it works. But anyway, we're going to go share screen, and we're going to talk a little bit about right now the macro markets. These are far more important than the altcoin videos. I know you're disagreeing. They just are, because all of the things we want with altcoins depend on what I'm going to talk about today. It does. And by the way, I have we'll say over 600 elite, because that's who's been with me from the beginning, that knows that we have covered this market to perfection up to this point. And what we're seeing and what we're analyzing and the data that we're putting together is giving us a clear picture, not only of where we've been, and when I say where we've been, not just this cycle, but from the previous to the evolution of not only what's coming in 2025, but we are able to see variables, very distinct variables into what's going to happen in 2028. It's crystal clear. Once you see these things, I tell my elite this all the time. I have the slogan that once you see a thing, you can't unsee it. I am responsible for knowing a thing. I used to teach my troops this in the military. Once you know a thing, this is a life lesson. Tell your kids this. You are responsible for that information. You are responsible. Once you know a thing, you are responsible for that information. Yes. You can't unsee something that you've seen. You can't unhear something that you've heard. And once you see these things from a macro perspective, you just can't unsee it. It's there and it's clear. It clarifies the picture. Now it's markets. Markets are imperfect. So there's always going to be variables, always going to be changes. And those are the wins that we are trying to detect throughout. Matthew, yes. This is an acrylic Amazon purchase. I'd love to say I created it. You can go on Amazon. You can find this right now. This is not 360 eccentric. This literally, you can go on there and get it, different sizes. It's an acrylic, like covered, very easy to hang. They've got a bunch of them. I liked it. I bought it. It's not expensive. It's go get one. But it's beautiful. I love it. So anyway, I'm literally trying to read what you guys are saying, but I've got to focus. I must focus. Nash will get mad if we go past 30 minutes. I got to keep it short. I'm just kidding. I want to give a shout out to Nash. Without Nash, everybody give Nash a shout on the chat. Without Nash, 360 Trader would not exist. Boom! There you have it. So I love you. I love you, Nash. I love you. I love you. Thank you for being not just a big part of 360, but for being family. Nash in the house. Yes, I am not as plugged in as I am to global markets and 360. I am not tech savvy. Like literally, Nash ties my shoes when it comes to technology. I'm just saying. Anyway, let's go ahead and share screen and get this party started right now. Give me a second to get this set up. Okay, I'm going to move y'all to this screen. Not because you're not important, but so I can use this one over here. Ooh. That's good. Let's see how that looks. Okay, this is doable. Okay, this is doable. Get out of there. All right, let us back this up. We are starting with Bitcoin because I do want to present some things. So that, and by the way, my elite, thank you for joining me on here. For my elite, this is going to be, they know this stuff. I did this for, they know this stuff. So I apologize to my elite that some of this is old hat, but yeah, this is for those who don't really understand what's going on, where we're at, what's happening, and what is coming. So I'm going to show it to you so that you guys can see it. So I want to be very clear about what's happening right now with Bitcoin, okay? In the same manner that Bitcoin hit here and we got that 220-day pullback. By the way, these are weekly candles. You need to understand that each one of these represents an entire week of price action. So this is 220 days, okay? In the exact same manner where many people were saying this was the top and this was the end of the cycle. How they can say that when there never was a cycle in the first place, if this was the top, I don't know, but they were saying, they were calling this the top. Not even close. And the reason why we were able to determine, and we knew from the beginning that this was not the top, is because there was no distribution selling, which occurs at no matter what the top has looked like for Bitcoin. And there's been many different types. We've had a parabolic blow off top in 2017. We had a double top in 2020, 2021. So regardless of what the top has looked like, there is one thing that you cannot miss, and that is FOMO money into FOMO mass distribution. That never occurred. As a matter of fact, the only thing you got was profit taking. The first half, a profit taking pullback followed by a profit taking pullback half, followed by a beautiful reaccumulation second half. Boom, right there. So even inside, so you have your first half pullback with profit taking that we've always seen at every previous all-time high, pullback, volatility, yes, liquidations, all that stuff, all the shenanigans smart money does to shake out retailers and make them think that it's over, that it's done, and a nice massive bottom. You can see the trips bottom with the global liquidation low. We saw this, we called it to a T, and we rode this bad boy into 100K. Yes, on a leverage long, we did that. So now, why am I talking about that? Because I want to now talk about this. I'm giving validity to the fact that we can understand what's going on in markets. Now, this was never toppy. This had layers of external liquidity. This is way more toppy than this. Why? Because it's gone up and removed the tops here with this peak, this high, and has come back down and has established something that looks way more toppy. Now, is it end of cycle toppy? Why not? Because there's still no distribution. Is it short-term toppy? Yeah. And so we're going to look at what that looks like. By the way, I want to bring one other thing up because it is important, because as we've been assessing these markets, we've been doing it on a global level and including legacy markets, because there is some touchable tangibility there that you must see in order to determine, is it crypto-centric? Or is it globality? By the way, I said globality the other week. I thought I made that term up. Somebody sent me a thing on Wikipedia and showed me that globality was actually a word. So I was really sad because I thought I had made up a word, but I hadn't. So what I want to point out to you is, number one, we've already identified 100K. I said it long before we hit 100K, that 100K would be a key psychological level. All right, but what I want to point out here is that it isn't just Bitcoin that hit key resistance. What else hit key resistance? Ethereum did. Ethereum hit the high that it had already achieved in March. Major level. Was it going to break out on first tap? No. Usually takes a couple taps. Higher lows, to get that tap, to get that break. You understand? Was Bitcoin going to smash through 100K on first tap? No, you say, but it went to 108. That's basically 100K. If you go look at the weekly, the 100K owns the price action. Do you understand this? It's areas. It's areas. It's not a precise price point. That's the first thing to remember. Now, I want to point out something else. Bitcoin achieved a resistance. Ethereum achieved a key resistance. You ready? Legacy markets achieved key resistance. The Dow off of key resistance on ascending channel top. The NASDAQ, key resistance at a channel top. S&P, key resistance at a channel top. It's why you're seeing all markets pull back right now. Globality, it's not crypto-centric, okay? There is no distribution, end of cycle, smart money, institutional selling in this at all. It ain't there. You can't find it. You can't show it to me on any chart. Period. It's the same thing I said back here when everybody and their mother was calling this the top. All right? Not to offend the mothers. When everybody and their fathers. All right? Their brothers, sisters. So let's just look at what this means. This does look toppy. And this is pretty close to as close as you can get to the classical pattern of a head and shoulders, where you do have your highest volume into the left shoulder, your highest volume. You want the next set into the head to be lower, and you get lower volume. Why? Why do you want your highest volume into the left shoulder? Because you want signs that the buying is exhausting. And the only way to do that is when you go into the head, for that volume to be lower than the volume into the left shoulder. Woo! See, just because you can draw two humps and a head doesn't mean you have a head and shoulders. You must have the volume rules with it. Otherwise, it's not. Okay? Now, the other thing I love about this is they are reversal patterns, even if temporary. Okay, so while this does look like a top, it doesn't mean it's the end of cycle top. It just means Bitcoin could enter a pullback. Now, we already know that Bitcoin's dominance, because I've shown it to you, has likely topped at 60% and has already broken down and is showing signs of a continued breakdown, which would occur based off Bitcoin pulling back. Now listen, because Bitcoin looks toppy, and I'm going to show you Ethereum's chart. Ethereum's chart looks bottomy. Yeah, it does. It doesn't just look bottomy, but you have the Ethereum to Bitcoin pairing where it's bottomy. Yeah, you do. You have the Ethereum's dominance chart that looks bottomy and ready to ascend because it's all been Bitcoin. Everything that has occurred has been at the strength and the power of Bitcoin dominance. So what I want to see and what we have here is the ability for Bitcoin to cool off, and hopefully somewhere in here, the switch flips, Ethereum takes charge and accomplishes some of what Bitcoin has already accomplished while Bitcoin is in here. That's what we're looking for. So what do we have here? We have a very nice set of wick lows. This for me is an area that's going to get swept. When you have very even, untapped, what I mean untapped is the market makers have not tapped this external liquidity here. You can see how even these wick lows are, and even below here. It tells me that Bitcoin is almost, I can't say guaranteed, because look, the market makers the smart money can fake out whoever they want to fake out. That's just what they do. But the odds are good. They at least sweep this liquidity where all these stops are, and we get a test down to at least 87, 88. However, there is also inside liquidity on this impulse here. Inside liquidity is leftover orders or a lot of money that has been left behind. So for me, and I'm going to show this to you in cycle data, showing you how possible it is right now. This is only a 15% pullback here. To the bottom and a sweep of external liquidity here, the blue, it's only 19, 20%. And to the bottom here, or to the major level, you're still only at 28 to 30%. And that would be a mitigation of the major breakout. Bang! sweep external liquidity, sweep inside liquidity, possibly even a wick down to mitigate the major breakout before Bitcoin resumes. Now, Bitcoin will probably never take back dominance. Probably never. And as a matter of fact, since we're on that, let's look at that. Show you how that looks. This is Bitcoin's dominance and proof that everything that has occurred in this market has been at the hands of Bitcoin strength only, not Ethereum and altcoins. Everything since we started back, I mean, just even since the lows, because even this can be included. It's just now we have a nice channel. So since the lows, Bitcoin has owned the entire crypto market. But look at what we got. We have the tap, a nice top, boom, a breakdown and a shot or a change of character. Once Bitcoin breaks, this is dominance, breaks this level, we have the channel breakout, the dead cat bounce, ooh, even grabbing liquidity, oh, falsely, and now back under the chotch. This is highly likely going to boom. It's down. Now, what pushes this down more than anything? Power to Ethereum and altcoins. Did you hear what I just said? I've just shown it to you on Bitcoin price chart. Bitcoin has room to go down. Now watch this magic. Come on, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Remember, I told you everything achieved resistance. Why is everything pulling back? And someone's trying to sell you narrative. Someone's trying to sell you some economic condition on why the markets are pulling back and blah, 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 blah. It's all horse poop. It's in the charts. There it is. The level Ethereum achieved, double tap, pull back. Now we're going to get our higher low, but I want to show you this on the weekly because this is a new bottom being formed. Whereas Bitcoin looks toppy, Ethereum looks bottomy and is establishing the other portion of its, do not call this an inverted head and shoulders. They are reversal patterns, not continuation patterns. Okay, that's the first thing to understand. But here's what I want to show you. It's the same thing I told you with Bitcoin when we had those layered external highs. And why I knew Bitcoin wasn't done. Look at the external liquidity layers up here. This is all external liquidity. That is getting bigger and bigger and bigger as Ethereum forms this new bottom. This is somewhere going to rebound in here before it ascends. Remember, because Bitcoin's losing dominance. So guess who gains dominance? Ethereum. Ethereum gains dominance and will go to test its all-time high. Let me open this up a little bit. Sorry. This is external liquidity here because Ethereum hasn't even achieved its old all-time high. This is what is coming. And this is why we're looking for more leverage longs. We already have two, but it's not going to stop there. It might stop there temporarily. But this is a train that is going to continue. Now, somewhere in here, Bitcoin is going to move to new higher highs. Remember, Bitcoin always achieves new all-time highs after it loses dominance. All dominance means is more money will flow into Ethereum and altcoins than will flow into Bitcoin for the rest of the cycle. That has not even started yet. And that is why I'm trying to tell you to chill, to relax. Because very few people have Bitcoin. Institutions have it. I'm not saying you don't have any. I mean, I have some Bitcoin, but most people are in what? Ethereum and altcoins. And let me explain to you, that party has not begun, and it is evident on all macro charts. Ethereum chart, Ethereum dominance chart, Ethereum to Bitcoin pairing chart. Ooh, market cap altcoin charts to include the one that excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum, and to include the one that excludes the top 10 cryptos by market cap. And we don't have time to go into that. I will do that in the next market review, which is going to be next weekend, because this week we're going to get back into what you love. Let me unshare this. Hold on so you can see my pretty face one more time. Let me move you back over. Give me just a second. Stop sharing. So listen, everything that I just showed you is visible. And this is why I want to make this very clear. What is happening with this dip, this little market pullback, is not crypto-centric. It's happening across all markets which have hit key resistance levels on their charts. You've got to stop listening to the hocus pocus narrative. You must stop that. Institutions push that through the news to scare the doo-doo out of you because you're retail and they don't want you to be on the ride. Okay, so I'm going to make this very clear. If Bitcoin dips back down to 77, 75, to do that, it's for one reason only: to make you think it's over, to get you out when they make it ascend again and push. All right, that is the plan. That's how it works, but they can't hide because there's no distribution. I'm telling you, in the same manner that most of the analysts, not most, there were some that didn't believe that it was high. I'll say 50%. I'll say it was 50-50. 50 thought that that 200-day thing was the end. 50% did not. Okay, for me, it was unmistakable that it wasn't. There just was so much data saying that it wasn't. But the big one is simply this: there must be distribution for there to be the potential or the chance that it is the end. And it just does, it's not there. Okay, it's not there. So enjoy the ride. I've got a lot coming this week. We're going to kick the week off probably Monday or Tuesday. I haven't decided yet on an altcoin madness, our next altcoin madness video, because we got a few that I want you to see. I want you to show you that I'm very excited about. Hopefully you are too. Guys, gals, have a blessed, wonderful, and very happy new year. Love you. Until next time, baby. Here comes the boom.